Hey guys, it's Chris here. So we all know I attended CES 2015, so let me share my thoughts on what interested me at the show. So one of the biggest things at CES was 3D printing. There are multiple booths on 3D printing, and I actually like it. 3D printing, I believe, is going to be the top of the future. So factories are going to be replaced with 3D printers. It's going to be crazy. I love 3D printing. One of the biggest things that was coming out for 3D printing was different types of materials. So before you could only do plastics, ABS material. If you don't know that, you can search it up on Google. There's also this thing called Ninja Flex. Ultimaker was talking about how they are able to print in wood and iron. That's pretty cool. A metal and a wood. The reason why 3D printing is going to take off is because with 3D printing, you use way less materials. How people do it now, if you want to make a chair, instead of printing it, you would have to take a big block of wood and cut that down and shape it into a chair. With 3D printing, you can actually start from the bottom of the chair and build it up. And by building it from the ground up, you use less material because you're only using what you need. Structure-wise, you can actually build it structurally well, so it's very sturdy. So with 3D printing, you can buy your own. Consumers can buy their own. If you want a $500 printer, they're about 1 foot by 1 foot tall, all the way around a box, and it prints little objects like figurines. I'm looking for something that can print me the size of a laptop, and those cost around $2.5K. So we'll get there. 3D printing is still in its infancy, so if you're looking for a career or if you're looking to get into something that is going to be in the future, 3D printing is the way to go. I gotta start learning CAD systems. The next on the list was a really cool smartwatch at CES. It was by the company Alcatel, and they make cell phones, but this time they came out with the smartwatch, and it looked pretty awesome. The size of the face wasn't that large. It was around, I'd say, 1 1/3 in diameter for the face of the watch, and it had a really simple look to it. There are different color options you can choose. They said they were going to go around $100. For me, I would probably pay $99. If it's $115, which is what I think I heard, it's a little bit pricey on the pricing point. But the awesome thing about it was how to charge it. There's actually a USB on the wristband itself, so you don't have to carry anything else but the watch itself. It connects through Bluetooth to your phone, and it tracks your heart rate as well as your sleeping and also music. More specs will come out when it's released, but it looks like a really viable watch for me to purchase. Now, this has been out for a while, but it's the Oculus by Sharp. It's a smartphone with no edge on the display. It was really nice in the hands. I felt it. It was thin, it was light, and it felt pretty fast. Because there's no edge, the screen looks bigger, and it feels like you have more real estate instead of having a bezel around the screen. Nothing much to say there, except that I really like that non-bezeled screen. But I don't know how that holds up to in daily usage. Maybe dropping it or cracking the screen. That was the Oculus by Sharp. Filming and videoing. So they had these steady cams that you could hook up your smartphone to, and as you move it, it stayed really smooth. There are multiple companies that sell these type of products. Just the two I saw were Conceptor and Indie Solo Grip. The thing you have to watch out for is price. How much are these going to cost? I would say around $60 at most is what I would spend. So I'll try to look for something in that price range. Hopefully it's not one of those $129 mark products. But for what you pay, that thing works awesome. You can seriously just film yourself, film anything, and it'll look just like in the movies. I may have to get one of those. Misfit. And Misfit had two products, the Misfit Shine and the Misfit Bedok. So the Misfit Shine has been out for a while, but one of their newest products, which was crowdfunded, is Bedok. Bedok is something you apply to your bed, and it tracks your sleeping patterns, your snoring, your movements, as well as your breathing patterns. So how this works is you plug it into your power outlet or a USB port, whichever one. It connects to your smartphone through Bluetooth, so the Bluetooth dongle dangles off your bed. And it's a strip of plastic with electronics in it with sensors that sense your movement, and it's adhesive, so you stick it onto your bed. You can put it underneath your cover sheets so it doesn't interrupt your sleeping or you feel it under the bed. But I found some quirks to it. I just checked on Amazon and it currently goes for $131. And it's not something I would spend. That's a little too pricey. And at the same time, I wouldn't know how accurate that device would be in terms of recording your sleep patterns and such. The strip isn't that long, so what happens if you roll on the other side of the bed? Then that just means the strip isn't recording any data. There are a lot of variables that I don't give enough trust into that device giving accurate information. So the Bedok concept was really cool, but aside from that, the finished product wasn't the best. We'll wait for the upgrades. Wow, this is really hard to explain. The technology is haptic feedback, a type of feedback that uses sense of touch. So when you're doing something on a program, you can feel it in your hands or whatever part of the body you're using. Sense of touch. So how this worked is it used the Leap Motion and their proprietary plate of mini speakers. And these speakers put out a high hertz of volume, so you don't really hear it. It's kind of like a bee that you have to put your ear up close to the plate to be able to hear the sound, but it's like zzz, and it's very high frequency or low, because it was a low frequency and I couldn't hear it through my ears. What these speakers did was it constantly put out volume. And when you put your hand through the Leap Motion would talk to the plate. The plate would understand where in the air your hand was. And you could also feel it. So you would feel vibration on your fingertips. It was awesome. Now, this isn't available to consumers. The company says that they currently lease this out to the government. So I wonder what they could be doing with that. The first thing I thought was they were aiming missiles and shooting and using AR drones to go to Iraq or some shit. But at CES, the demos was fun and games. I was popping bubbles and playing this tennis game with the ball. That shit blew my mind. If you want to know more about that, I definitely think you should check it out. It's called Haptic Feedback. I'll put it in the description down below. But moving on to the next one. So one of the cool booths at CES was Panasonic. They had their game up. Panasonic had this LCD screen where you would put on your shelving unit. Pretend this is a piece of electronic. It was an LCD screen and would have the price tag as well as other information on it. What they did was they put that on the shelf, and as the products came out, if you took a product, the number would go down in quantity. And if you ever needed to change the price, the LCD screen would change the number. I thought that was pretty cool just because it's like we're in the future. Aside from that, Panasonic had this really cool camcorder. I'll leave it in the description below. But what it did was it shot in 4K. The price tag was $1K. So about $999, $1,000. But the cool thing about it was, even though it shot in 4K, the LCD screen that came out had a separate camera on the LCD screen. And that LCD screen you could rotate. So you could shoot your selfie while you're filming what was in front of you. So you get both reactions, the ones in front and the ones of you. It was really awesome. It was like double recording, and I could see me getting that camcorder. I gotta upgrade, you guys. It's been a while. Panasonic calls it the twin video camera. So be on the lookout for that if you want to start YouTube, or if you just want to shoot some family videos like kind of what I do. So we're getting close to the end of this list, and next up was this robotic arm that had a monitor on it, a TV monitor, television. I just thought this was really cool because it looked like a automobile factory with those arms, and all they did was put a TV on it. But the reason why I was at CES is because Verge also did a video on this, but they put a bunch of these monitors with the arms, and it's used for a show. And the show is live on a cruise ship where you can attend. So next thing was the Samsung Edge, and this was kind of pretty cool. It was a bent screen, it was the phone, and then you had an edge on it, and you could use it as a touch screen. It was a completely separate screen, and you had your widgets there. I liked it, but I hope it doesn't come out in the next Samsung, because I'm trying to get that phone. I might go iPhone, we'll see which one's better, in my opinion. Now, I don't see much benefit to having an edge, but I could see how useful it was. You could have your top 5 apps on the side and just scroll on the side, and you can also have notifications pop up on the edge. It was cool, but overall, the increase in efficiency when using the edge, it's not something you really need. I may be wrong though, we'll see. Maybe Samsung has something up its sleeve for that edge display. Now, I can't leave this video without talking about cars. There are too many cars at CES. They are crazy. I saw the Tesla, I saw a Ferrari, I saw a McLaren, I even saw the Ford new Mustang. Volkswagen had some nice cars. They look like golf carts. But I did see the Toyota Mirai. It was a hydrogen car. But one of the coolest things that trumps 3D printing was virtual reality. The Oculus Rift was so cool. The 360 cam. Now what this does is it's a ball and it has cameras all around it. It shoots a 360 degree of where you are. So pretend my head's the camera and it shoots everywhere. So what this is for the Oculus Rift. So crazy. I got to drive a Corvette. They put an Oculus Rift on me. They put headphones and they used the 360 cam to film footage of a real person. A professional driver drove the Corvette on a racetrack, raced a couple guys, and I got to see that all on the Oculus Rift. So 360 cams are something you can look out now. It may be purchased for your in-home or vlogging, whatever. I don't know, man. They also had some footage of a guy vlogging with a 360 cam. I put the Oculus Rift on. It was like I was there. Seriously, virtual reality is the experience of being there without actually being there. So, put on the Oculus Rift, go to Disneyland, you've experienced it. Crazy. I just hope people don't get fat. Scratch that shit. There was a small booth at CES with hydroponics, and it was just a bunch of fish tanks with plants growing in them. So I don't know, maybe that's the future of house planting, or home gardens, where you can plant your own tomatoes just indoors in something like a fish tank. Well, that wraps it up with my experience at CES. If you have any questions or want to know anything about CES, I'm happy to answer them. I want to fill you guys in on how CES really is. I could really go on and on about CES. I even got never mind. But this video is just a brief summary of what I saw at CES. They seriously need to make this CES thing like a 2-week or a month vacation, cause this place, I could not get through the whole venue. Products that caught my curiosity, I'll have them all in the description down below, but I'd like to thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't, give it a thumbs down and let me know why. Dude, I want to get into quadricopters. I want to fly one of those things. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe for future content. This has been Chris with Get This Here 101, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys. Done. Woo! You like the Audi? Ah, there's so many Audis there, man. Bloopers? Is this bloopers? Nah, let's go. Bye-bye.